I'm back! I'm gonna be honest with you, I've seen other YouTubers do that when they go away for a couple of days and it's so much cooler, but I don't know how it felt from your end, but to me, it felt cringy as glorious. No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back from a brand new video. Today's video we are finally back to work after a wonderful weekend at Resonate where I got to meet so many of you guys. You came up, we took pictures, we had a laugh, we discussed the season, we discussed Gerard, we discussed 55. Not only that though, it was good to put some faces with names because we've been on this journey together, me and thee, for a very long time. There's been lows, there's been highs, but to meet so many of these, put the faces with the names, sort of connect it, was truly a great experience, especially for those with absolutely ridiculous Twitter names. You know who you are. Right, enough of that blabbering then, let's jump into the Rangers news. Starting off with story number one, we have finally reached the end of the Candeias situation. On. Because today he has signed a 2-year deal, signing for the club that he went away and left to speak to. Now, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name because let's be fair, it's not going to happen. And I honestly think this is the first time in a very long time that I can think of, off the top of my head, that a player has orchestrated his own move from the football club yet is still getting backed by 95% of the people. And again, this is just my opinion. If you're on the other side of that and you aren't happy with the way the Candeias behave, that's completely fine. The comment section is there for you guys to get your opinion. But for me, I think it's right that Daniel Candeias now moves on. If you think back to a month ago, I made that video of 5 first team players that I expect to leave the club in the summer. And Daniel Candeias was like number 1 or number 2 on that list. And I know I got absolutely slaughtered for saying that, but the reason, like I explained in that video, I just don't see Danny Candeias being a regular starter for Rangers now. Now, in no shape or form am I trying to say this guy is crap, and it's certainly not sour grapes with me saying this because of the way he's left, but it's the perfect time to leave for Candeias because the squad is strengthened to a point where he isn't a vital player anymore. And I think when you reflect back on Daniel Candeias' time at Rangers, he's a very, very important transitional player for us because when he joined the squad, it was doing here. Now, a couple of years later, when he's leaving, it's right up here, and he helped on the field to get us to this point. But as I said a month ago, I'll say today, if we want to go ahead and win things, not just be happy with a semi-final here or a semi-final here, if we didn't want to just put pressure on the league for a couple of months, if we actually want to lift trophies, we need better consistency out of our players, and unfortunately that's just where Danny Candeias lacked. It was never hard work, it was never effort, it was just consistency going forward. And when you look at it with the players that Gerard has brought in, there's just better players in the team now. And it dawned on me the other day when I was thinking about it, Daniel Candeias is 31 years old. Now, I'm not saying that's old, especially these days. Players can play right up to their 40 and still play at a very high level. It's a lot different now than it was a few decades ago, but the way that he approaches the game is very, very unique. Whether it's a friendly or it's an old firm, he is going to play the exact same way, and that's 155% effort. From the first whistle to the last, he's going to be running back and forth and back and forth, and that, if I'm honest, isn't just been a thing he's done at Rangers. Wherever that man has played, he has played the exact same way, and that's been all go. And when you think about it, he's got a lot of miles in those legs. Players like him didn't last to their 40s. He's not going to make 38, 39. If you look at it, he's only signed a 2-year deal with this Turkish club, and that's probably going to be the end for Daniel Candeias. If he wants to move on, get one last little payday, secure him financially for his last 2 years of his footballing career, and just play week in and week out where he can enjoy the game before he has to retire, that is fair enough. So thank you for all the hard work and effort, Daniel Candeias, and good luck with the last couple of years of your career. And that's going to be the end of story number 1. Now that it's officially done and dusted, it's not an if or a maybe. Candeias has left Rangers. What's your thoughts and opinions now? Have they changed from the other day where we discussed the possibility, or is it still the same? You know what to do by now. Now jumping over to story number 2, this one has kind of been growing over the last couple of days. It was first reported 2 days ago, so that would have been Friday night, and it's about Newcastle being strongly interested in Tavernier. Now, if this is the first time you've heard that news, I'm pretty sure you'd have been like me and just shrugged off and been like, CJ, it's just another club linked with Tav. What else is new? However, unlike the West Brom, and then there was Leeds, and then there was Aston Villa all being linked with Tavernier, this is by far the most reported one out of everyone. I mean, you Google Tavernier's name, you're going to see it. It's in every single media outlet that they are after Tavernier. And today, as of about 9 o'clock today, there was a link done from the Daily Mail that they've heard from an insider that Newcastle United are preparing for an £8 million bid. Not only just preparing for an £8 million bid, apparently Newcastle United are very confident that their first offer of £8 million in 2019 is enough to get Tavernier from Rangers. Not only is there articles reporting that Newcastle are very confident in this bid being accepted, but the Daily Mail even ran a little sort of sentence to suggest that Rangers do not want this to happen. They desperately don't want Tav to leave, but they'll be forced to accept the £8 million to get the cash. Who's been writing this article? Is it Phil? If you don't know who Phil is and you're scratching your head right now, congratulations, you have won life. Me, unfortunately, I get tagged in these weird stories about financial things that he makes up about Rangers nearly every single day. Classic tinfoil hatter. Like, is it just me? But this just sounds absolutely mental. £8 million for the captain of Rangers Football Club. £8 million for the best fullback in Scottish football, while another club is actively chasing another fullback in Scottish football and had a £25 million rejected. Yet Newcastle apparently think that they'll get the best fullback for £8. Now, I don't want to get into the whole Kieran Tierney, James Tavernier debate because that is not the point of today's video, but what is the point is Celtic are refusing to be lowballed by English clubs, and they're now getting over £25 million bids because they refused a £15 million bid to start with. They are not taking part in the bullying from English football, yet somehow articles are seeming to just be forgetting that and just assuming we'll go back to accepting the pennies and we'll just bend over and just take the pennies from Newcastle United. Doesn't make any freaking sense, and it's just honestly beyond me. But let's take that ridiculous price tag and just put it off the table. Let's put it to one side and forget about it for just now, and let's just focus on the idea or the possibility of selling Captain Tavernier, because I don't know how you feel. That's why the comment section there, but to me, every time this tries to get into the old noggin, it gets stopped, rejected and told to go away. It's like Gogsy trying to get in a club. But again, this channel isn't just about my thoughts and opinions, it's about ours. So before you go ahead and dive in and share your opinions on Captain Tavernier, let's reflect on his stats and see whether we should sell him or not. In just his Rangers career alone, over the last 4 seasons, he's played 198 games. 198 games. I mean, we've done player profiles talking about Rangers rumours. People did that in their entire career at 25, 26. This guy's just done that for Rangers. That's how consistent and injury free this man really is. He's always available to play. But isn't he just playing for the sake of playing and he's not getting involved? Nah. He has 43 goals to his name and 61 assists. That's 104 goal contributions in 198 games. That is output that we have never seen at Rangers at the fullback position. It is frightening. Are we in a position now that we can basically afford to lose a goal or an assist every 2 games from our captain at right back? Are we that strong that we can go ahead and do that? For me, I don't think so. Tavernier for me is absolutely vital to the team, and he's probably the one player out of everyone in our entire squad that I wouldn't want to leave in this summer. That is how important I think he will be towards the 55 charge. Now, I have saw some Newcastle fans' reactions slagging Tav, saying it's Scottish football, this and that, but what they didn't realise is Tavernier was doing that during our Europa League run last year. I mean, week in and week out, the man was in the team of the week at the fullback spot, constantly one of the highest rated player every single week. So he was doing that against the likes of Villarreal, Spartak Moscow and Rapid Vienna. Week in and week out, he was there and he was performing. So it's not just a tin pot Scottish League. Tavernier is a fantastic footballer. And for the Newcastle fans calling him a one-season wonder because Rangers got all these penalty kicks and stuff like that, well, if you want to just discard what he done last season, if you just want to focus on this year, he has played 1 game of competitive football. The man has 2 assists already in the season. He shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Now, the only real potential issue that we could have revolving Tavernier and Newcastle, if he does hear these likes and if they are real, he may want to go ahead and make the move himself, because that is where he came from. I mean, he was sort of discarded from there for not being good enough. Now he's made something in his career, he's built himself and he's been getting every single year, so there may just be that little chip on his shoulder wanting to go down there and prove that they were wrong for letting him go and that he belongs at that level. But as far as I know, there is absolutely no signs that Tavernier is trying to force his way out. He is happy and 100% proud of being the Rangers captain. Now again, that may change in time because that's football. If bids come in, it may turn his head, but right now when I'm making today's video, Tavernier is in no way trying to push this move. So with all that being said, we have now reached the end of today's video. We have broken down the Tavernier to Newcastle situation on. Now while you guys are getting your thoughts and opinions out there, it's time to jump over to Twitter and hear from the people. There's been 2,119 votes. That is absolutely mental. And I simply asked them the same question as I asked you guys. Should we be selling our captain this summer? 94% of the people votes no chance. David Bluth writes in, I would take it because he hasn't got so much to prove upon and we could spend the money on Kent. That is not the way I thought this was going to start, ladies and gentlemen. Rock and Roll Elvis, thank you so much for coming to Resonate, mate. It was great meeting you. He said we should not deal with Newcastle while we have a legal fight with their owner ongoing. Despite that, the valuation is far, far too low. Yeah, I didn't even want to mention Mike Ashley because he's just such a... Stevie Brown says, no way should we sell him, and if anyone votes yes, they are wrong. End of story. George writes, no, and I don't know how to say this a million times. No. I mean, you could just write no a million times, but that would take a tremendous amount of time, George. And I'm sure you're busy. Dougal writes in, never to them, not while he is in charge of the club, and certainly not for 8 mil. Chris McLaughlin writes in, who voted yes? We should hunt down in shame. Jared Ledrom writes in, if they are turning 25 million down for Tierney, then 8 million for Tav is an absolute piss take. Exactly, Jared. Exactly, son. And the last 2 or 3 we'll read out. The first one comes in from Disco Dave. He writes in 8 million for Tav is an insult to him and his abilities. Graham writes 18 million and Sports Direct's contracts terminated, and then we can start talking. And the last one we read out, we'll scroll all the way up here, we'll scroll all the way down here, and we'll stop it right here. And it comes from Kevin Cochran. And he said, wouldn't say we should sell him, but if the money is right, then it will be accepted. 10 million, I think, would be the right number. Now that is a surprise. In fact, Kevin, you've inspired me to ask a question right at the end of today's video. For those who watched right to the very end, if you were to sell Captain Tavernier this year, what would be the value you would accept? For me, you never ever sell your captain ahead of a very important season, especially a squad that's capable of winning things. I don't think it sends the right message, so I wouldn't even care if they offered 20 million. I'm being serious. But now we have reached the end of today's video, so shout out to the absolute legends on the Patreon's account. I cannot thank you guys for your ongoing support, and as always, I've been CJ Nova92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.